everyone, and welcome. I am Quietly Gaming, and today we are going to be starting off the Dragoon playthrough. Don't mind me, I'm actually eating lunch also. But we are here in the Lancers Guild in Gridania. We're gonna take this quest, and then we're going to see what Dragoon has to offer us. I have actually done Dragoon's story before. I've played Dragoon the last time I played through the game. By playthrough I mean till Haven's Ward, but so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and say hello. Ooh, jump. And the soul of the Dragoon. I dare say you might be the right woman for the job. The guild has urgent need of a capable lancer for a mission beyond our nation's borders. Hear me out, if you will. I've received word from an Ishgardian friend to the effect that he requires our aid. I will have you go and provide that aid. As you may already know, due to her ongoing conflict with the dragons, Ishgard has kept her gates closed to outsiders for some time. The occasional Dragoon on patrol duty is about all folks see these days. In spite of her self-imposed isolation, however, the Holy See has never failed to honor her obligations to her allies. It is only fitting that we answer the call and lend that what assistance we can. To this end, we offer to dispatch a contingent of the Wood Whalers with all haste, but were politely informed that they would not be welcome, much to our initial confusion. It was later explained that we are dealing with a matter of some sensitivity, best handled by individuals who are capable and trustworthy, yet unbound by allegiance, and who fits that description save adventurers. Scarcity being paramount, I can provide no details as to the nature of the task. All you need to know will be revealed at the rendezvous point. Should you accept the mission, take yourself to the Observatorium. A knight by the name of Sir Albric will receive you upon arrival. We have been to the Corthus Central Highlands before. We haven't been into Ishgard yet because we have not done Heaven's Ward yet, but we do kind of know this location, and we have we have unlocked the Aetheryte in this area. You must be adventurer of whom Uwain sent word. Greetings and well met. Don't mind me, I'm shoving food in my mouth. I am Sir Albric Bane, Knight of Ishgard. The Holy See is much obliged to you for your aid. Time being of the instance, I shall proceed straight to the heart of the matter. The eye, an Ishgardian relic of immeasurable worth, has been stolen, and we have reason to believe the culprit has come this way. So, it is that we seek your assistance in its recovery. The thief has been identified as a man named Estinian, a dragoon sworn to the service of the Holy See. You heard true. The crime was perpetrated by one of our own, an individual in a position of trust and no little honor. You may be assured that a fate worse than death awaits him upon capture. My duties to the sea afford me little opportunity to travel far beyond the walls of Ishgard. I must confess to grave ignorance in recent Gridanian affairs. I was told that a sentry by the name of Lodgendrel might have knowledge of routes oft taken by Ishgardian fugitives. I would prefer to keep my identity a secret, and thus would have you gather what information you can from the man. You must act quickly, for you see Estinian is... But I have already said too much. What matters is that we find our thief and the eye with all haste. When last sighted, Estinian was clad in black armor. Now go, and speak not a word of what I have told you to anyone. Alright. Let me see. Where do we gotta go? Oh, we gotta go, like, right over here. Routes favored by Ishgardian fugitives? Now, that's a question I don't hear every day. You aren't plotting some unsavory act yourself, are you? Even if you were, I doubt you'd make it far. Any road. We've caught a few fleeing to the North Shroud, what with Gridania being home to nearly as many Elizin as Ishgard, it's no easy task to identify outsiders. If you're on the hunt for someone, you could do worse than to visit Florental's spire in the North Shroud and speak with a man named Idristin. If any suspicious persons have crossed the border in recent days, he'd be the first to know. Hail, adventurer! Yes, I am the one tasked with monitoring those who would enter our lands by way of Korthus. An Isgardian knight clad in black armor. No, I recall nothing of the sort. And such a striking visitor would be difficult to forget. My apologies, friend. I can only suggest that you return to Lord Dindrail and see if he has any other theories. Well, it was worth a shot, I guess. He is right, though. A knight clad in black would be pretty memorable, right? No luck, you say? Most curious. Why, it is nigh impossible that a fugitive could make it as far without being espied from Floren's spire, which leaves the possibility that your man is still in Ishgard. It runs counter to good sense. Would the fugitive not want to put a distance of ground between him and his pursuers? But by the process of deduction, it is a possibility. The climes of Ishgard are not kind to drifters and vagabonds. That said, there has been talk of a curious smoke wafting from the cave east of here by night. At night, were I you, I might begin my search there. Okay. Ah, we found our man, I believe. Ishgard would resort to sending coin-starved adventurers after me. I know not whether to laugh or feel insulted. The eye, it rouses. For another? Preposterous. Our paths shall cross again. You can be sure of it. Curiouser and curiouser. A dragoon clad in black, you say? Tell me all that transpired. Well, he flew down from the sky, his chest started glowing, and then he flew back into the sky. By the fury that the eye would choose another. I had not thought it possible. In light of recent events, it would seem an explanation is in order. The eye is no ordinary relic. It harbors the power of the dragon, which it bestows upon a single chosen soul, the strongest and wisest dragoon. He who is chosen is possessed of the power to fight our mortal foes. The dragon of Devonia, on equal footing, soaring the firmaments as if it were an extension of the land. The man is known as the Azure Dragoon. The Azure Dragoon is the light of hope for all Ishgardians and the paragon of all dragoons. For this reason, you may imagine how it pains me to have to confess the man you encountered, the thief, is none other than the Azure Dragoon, and that I was once his teacher. Needless to say, I acknowledge myself accountable for Estinian's misdeeds, and mean to do all in my power to find him and recover the eye, but I cannot do this alone. I require your help quietly, you who have received the power of the dragon. You may labor to believe it, but there can be no mistake. The soul of the Dragoon I bear glows in your presence, infutable proof that you are chosen. What I can ill explain, however, is the why of it. Never before in Ishgar's history has the eye roused to more than one individual in a single generation, but it avails us not to curdle our brains about it. What kind of word did I think that was? The fact of the matter is that you are now a vassal of power of the dragon. That dragon lies yet in slumber, however, and you must needs possess the means to wake it. The soul of the Dragoon, I would entrust you with mine quietly. Like Estinian, I once ruled the skies as the Azure Dragoon. Although that power has since become lost to me, it was simply by force of habit that I have hitherto kept the soul upon my person. I have no inkling as to why the eye has seen fit to choose a second, and an outsider at that. Yet one thing is clear. None can challenge the Azure Dragoon, and coincidentally prevail save another Azure Dragoon. Unconceivably prevail. You are our only hope of bringing Estinian to justice and reclaiming the eye. Of course, I do not know that you do. I do not ask that you do this unaided. I may be a Dragoon no more, but what knowledge I have, I shall gladly impart to you. For indeed, when the time comes that you must face the Azure Dragoon, not less than complete mastery over the power of the Dragoon will avail you. What a precious road lies ahead of you, I shall not deny. Knowing this, if you would still lend me your lance, I will teach you to harness the power that has chosen you. Go forth, my young Dragoon, and rouse the dragon within. I look forward to your return. Nice. Let's do this thing. It is pleasing to see how readily the dragon stirs within you. You show great potential quietly, a potential that may well prove the difference between victory and defeat. Estinian is no ordinary dragoon. Even when sent against the legendary Azures of age past, the man is considered second to none. Such is his prowess. In fact, that the day he was chosen by the Eye, it was proclaimed that Hadrathil, the Dragon's Eye, had been reborn. I mean not to disparage your skills quietly, but to pursue Estinian in your current state would be tantamount to suicide. As promised, I shall train you in the way of the Dragoon, that you might face Estinian as an equal. Before we commence, however, it is only fitting that you are edified regarding our origins. It all began a millennium past, when our forebears resided in the South Plains in humble circumstances. The Fury, impressed by the spirit of our ancestors, decided it was meet that she make them her own. So did she appear before Heldrath's sire, a man of courage and integrity named Thordan, and bade him lead her people to the promised land, to what would become the great nation of Ishgard. Their journey brought them to a wide chasm, whereupon Thordan and his people set to build a bridge. It was then that the dark shadow descended upon them, and the great worm Nidhogg, heedless of his own safety, Thordan fearlessly charged the colossal beast. Alas, he was pushed into the chasm by one of his own, a man seduced by the worm, and fell to his death. Taking up his slain sire's lance, Haldrath hurled himself at Nidhogg, even as tears streamed down his face. The confrontation ended when the young man, his hand guided by Halone, landed a mighty thrust that prized out Nidhogg's eye. With a terrible roar of pain, the great worm took flight and fled, while jubilation reigned below. Ishgardian's priceless relic is none other than the eye taken from Nidhogg that day. It is a veritable wellspring of dragon power. Even so removed from its owner, it can exert control over the hearts of men. Haldrath himself felt its malign influence, but his love of justice brooked no corruption, and he prevailed over the power, claiming it for his own. And so it was that the first Azure Dragoon was born. Being derived from our foe, the power of the Dragoon is a thing to be loathed. But as Haldrath proved to us, so long as our hearts burn with justice, we need not fear being taken in its thrall. Now, but what is justice precisely? Justice assumes many shapes and forms, quietly, and none can say that one is greater than another. So long as you hold fast to your beliefs and stay true to yourself, you leave no room for the power of the dragon to master you. But enough of history. Let us return our attention to the present. A knight by the name of Sir Brucemont will see to the next stage of your training. Seek him out at Witchdrop. So, the adventurer seeks to become a dragoon. Sir Albrecht speaks of legends and chosen ones, but I would see you prove yourself in a more practical fashion with your lance. Defend yourself. It? You have some skill. We'll give you that. The glow of your soul crystal. Perhaps Sir Albrecht was not wrong about you, after all. Now, return to him. Your training here is complete. That was it. If I remember correctly, we end up coming back here like several times. The soul of the dragon grows ever stronger within you quietly. Clearly your trial was a rousing success. I need only observe your crystal to know as much. Yes, though you have only just begun to walk the path of the Dragoon, it is clear you possess the talent to become Ascidian's equal. Go forth and make the powers of you have obtained your own. When the time is right, we shall proceed with your training. We continue? I think we shall. Sir Albrecht would send you to your next trial. You grow ever stronger, and I speak of more than just the flesh. You are slowly but surely realizing your potential as a sure dragoon. It is heartening to look upon, though I must confess that my presiding feeling is one of relief. You must understand the mere thought of that the eye would choose an outsider, one who ill comprehends the threat posed by the dragons, filled me with the gravest of misgivings. Yet you have... but I shall say no more, lest flattery impede your improvement. Now, during our last lesson, I enlightened you regarding the origins of dragoons. You will recall how Haldrath heroically triumphed over the great worm Nidhogg, and Ishgard came into the possession of the Eye. Tell me, quietly, do you believe that these events truly transpired, or are you inclined to think them fairy tales? I ask you this because few folks have seen dragons in the flesh besides we Ishgardians, and most would as soon dismiss them as products of the imagination. Alas, dragons are no less real than you and I, with Nidhogg perhaps the most real of all. In the course of its history, Ishgard has suffered the creature's wrath on 8 separate occasions. Each time the Great Worm rouses, the blood of countless Ishgardians is spilled. Let us revisit the past once more quietly. The time is 20 summers past, and the place, Dravania. After a century in slumber, Nidhogg awakened once more to resume his reign of terror. Entire villages were razed to the ground, their inhabitants reduced to smothering ash. Sensing the Great Worm's unbridled rage, others of his kind began to rouse, and in such numbers as to blot out the sun with their wings. A deep, foreboding darkness swept over Ishgard. Raging infernos painting the belly of the sky an angry red, the agonized screams of innocence fading with deadly silence. In my station as the Dragoon, I was there through it all, bore witness to all the horrors. But there was no time to offer even a silent prayer. Nidhogg lingered in one place only long enough to lay it to waste, and when he took to the sky to wing, so too did I pursue him, a man possessed. This game of cat and mouse continued for what seemed an eternity before I found myself face to face with the Great Worm. The battle unfolded in tiny settlement on the edge of Korthus, raging on for 3 days and 3 nights, with neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. Remaining on my feet by sheer force of will, I realized that it must end now, else it wouldn't end well. Marshalling my last ounce of strength, I wagered all on one single thrust. My lance struck home, bearing deep in the ruin of my opponent's empty eye socket. Yet before I could withdraw my weapon, the worm lashed out wildly in its agony, dealing a blow that left me sprawling upon the scorched earth, nigh incensed. In that instance, I thought myself surely doomed. But alone was not finished with me. Having lost the taste of battle, Nidhogg let loose a blood-curdling roar before fleeing to the sky. The battle was over. While I did not perish from my injuries, they rendered my body unfit to bear the power of the dragon, and I was the Dragoon no more. Lying bedridden, my thoughts wandered to all the innocent lives that had been lost, the people I had failed to protect. The last conflict with the dragons of Dravania left countless orphans in its wake. Estidian is one of them, the sole survivor of Ferndale, the final village to suffer Nidhogg's wrath. With none left to care for him, I did the only thing I could. I took Estidian as my own son, instructing him in the ways of the Dragoon when he was of an age to learn. Yet I would not have you think me noble. My actions were born not of compassion but of guilt, my guilt for having failed him. But alas, I have also failed him as a father. For what manner of man did I bring him up to be? A thief who would endanger the lives of every one of his countrymen. Aye, you heard me right. All of Ishgard may suffer for his crime. Though we know little and less of the minds of dragons, it is conceivable that the disturbance surrounding his stolen eye will rouse Nidhogg to awaken once more, that his kin have already stirred from their slumber, serving as fair warning of that. Time is not on our side. Fortunately, it would seem you are more than ready to embark on your next trial. Make your way to Witchdrop, where the knight Anine awaits your arrival. My nation is depending on you quietly. Yes, sir. Witchdrop, huh? Are you the one who would aspire to be a Dragoon? Why, you are not even of Ishgard. If you truly possess a power that Sir Eldrick sees in you, then prove it to me with your lance. En garde. Let's get rid of these ones first. feel like I'm cheating with my little egg friend over here, but that's strength. I have not seen it like it's like since Estinian himself stood before me. Mayhaps Sir Elbrick has the right of it after all. Return and show your crystal to him. I have no doubt he will be pleased. You have passed yet another trial with flying colors quietly. The day when you may stand before Estinian as an equal is not far off. And when the day comes, the eye will choose you over the traitor. I have no doubts of this. But we must be patient still. For now, you must continue your training. When you can do no more on your own, seek me out once more. Doom Spike. Doom. Impeccable timing quietly. A messenger arrived from Estinian but moments ago. Much to my astonishment, he would trade words with us and bids us meet him at Boulder's Downs. As to his true intentions, I cannot say. It may well be a trap, but we must go nonetheless. I trust I can count upon your company. Estinian. Greetings, Master. It has been too long. Estinian, end this folly at once. You must know that each second the eye passes outside Ishgard's walls brings us closer to a repeat of the tragedy 20 summers past. Surrender yourself and the eye and return with me to Ishgard before it is too late. But it is already too late, Master. For you see, Nidhogg has already awoken. What? Hear me, Master. You have mistaken the cause of the dragon's return. The eye is not to blame. A premonition came to me by virtue of the dragon within, warning me that the great worm will soon rouse. Even as he slumbers, Nidhogg seethed with irrepressible rancor for that wound of 20 years ago. That rancor will send him flying as a speeding arrow to Ishgard, whereupon death and devastation will ensue. But there is a possible solution. Were the eye taken to a remote land, far from the Holy See, then only then could destruction be averted and the lives of innocent Ishgardians be spared. You mean to make a bait of yourself? Nay, there is more to this than you let on. You seek vengeance for Ferndale. To me, the two are one and the same. You know my past better than any else. It was for no other reason than to avenge my family that I became a Dragoon. Dragoons long outlive men, and do not soon forget the wrongs done to them. What grudge they harbor burns as a fire in their hearts, over time swelling into an unquenchable inferno. You need only look back on history to see that Nidhogg grows stronger with each awakening. When last he darkened our skies, the great worm came within a hair's breadth of laying waste to Ishgard. Not short of death will prevent him from completing his mission when next he wakes. Nidhogg took everything from me. Now I shall take everything from him, even if it means my life. The eye works in ways men can ill comprehend, but this much is plain. In choosing 2 Azure Dragoons in one generation, it means for us to join together in common cause. Adventurer, you have heard my resolution. Now, I ask that you lend me your power. The power of the dragon. In the long and proud history of Ishgard, never before have two Azure Dragoons arisen in the same era to fight as one. This is our best, nay, our only chance to send the Great Worm to eternal slumber. Behold my armor. This is the Draken mail, forged in the lifeblood of dragons. As blood calls to blood, so too does the armor call to the dragon within, redoubling the wearer's strength thereby. If you would realize your potential as an Azure Dragoon, you must needs clad yourself in the same. Clad so, you will inherit the technique passed from Dragoon to Azure Dragoon down through the generations. Then, and only then, will your training be complete. But first you must win the Draken mail, as I and Sir Albric did before you, by proving yourself worthy in the ultimate trial of the Azure, a series of battles so harrowing as to send the unworthy to the early demise. Master, once the adventurer acquires the armor, pray see to it that she learns to harness the power of the dragon in full. Estinian, wait! Save your worries. I do not mean to make myself easy prey for dragons. I take my leave of you. Ah, the Anx Master Estinian. People simp for this guy. They simp for him hard. Our role to play in that tale is yet to be determined. Estinian. But forgive me, I was deep in thought. Now then, as to acquiring the armor of which Estinian spoke. At first it was my intention to bequeath mine own armor to you, but I am an Azure Dragoon no longer, and its powers are wasted on me. It would be simple enough to hand it over to you and complete your training right here and now. But it is as Estinian said, the Draken armor is no ordinary set of mail. Its strength derives from the dragon blood whence it came. The blood's power resonates with the soul of the wearer. Though I can no longer draw upon mine own armor's power, its bond to me was forged years ago. Were I to bestow it on you now, I fear it would offer but a scintilla of the protection it afforded me in those begone days. Aye, Estinian has the right of it. You must claim your armor as he and I did before you. You must complete the trial of the Azure, that the powers of dragon blood be yours and yours alone. The ogre's belly will be where your final test begins. I shall dispatch Sir Brucemont there. Seek him out upon your arrival. You have grown strong since we last met, adventurer, but you pale in comparison to your Azure forebears. If you prove me wrong, let your lance do the talking. Oh, so it's this one, that's the... Once again, adventure... Yeah. Your next challenge lies in the chamber beyond. Sir Hestian awaits you there. Alright. Oops. You, a foreigner, would don the Dragon armor, then prove to us that you will not dishonor it. Hi. Sir Albrecht said the Eye had chosen you, and it would appear he speaks true. The armor is yours. Wear it with pride and honor. Your trial is nigh complete, but be forewarned. Many before you have made it this far only to fail at the final challenge. Do not let overconfidence be your downfall. Alright. Bruce Munt. So you've made it this far. Very well. Prove yourself worthy of the Azure or die in the effort. You have demonstrated your power to me beyond a doubt. There is not an Ishgardian who would gainsay your right to don the armor of the dragons. I shall send word ahead to Sir Albrecht that you have passed your trials here. It is he who will present you with the fourth piece of armor and consummate your training. Now go, my fellow Dragoon, and deliver this land from the great worm's wrath. Aw, look at the booba. Well, not booba. More like butta. Anyway. I heard from Sir Brucemont that you performed most impressively. Yes, I stand more convinced than ever that you will be one to save our lands. Yet be warned quietly, one last trial awaits you. You will face this trial in the presence not of the knights, but of ghosts. Make your way towards the Steel Vigil and seek out a gravestone north and west of the structure. Take with you this flute, and when you reach your destination, blow a single strong note. The visitor shall soon arrive. Entertain your guest, and should he leave behind a present, return it here to me. You drop anything? Your presence before me indicates you've seen to the visitor. Have you aught to show for your deeds? Ah, the skull of Greywine, an old warrior of the Dravonian horde, that said that in ages past he could bring down a castle with a single breath. His strength has dwindled since those days, but a dragon's past his prime is a formidable foe nonetheless. In slaying him, you have proven yourself worthy of this. You now possess 4 pieces of the armor that Estinian, myself, and our forebears did wear. While you doubtless wonder about the 5th, I can tell you only that it is not mine to give. Fear not, however. Your triumphs in the trials and against the dragon of the horde give evidence that the Dragon blood now resonates with yours. Yes, you stand before me as prepared for your ultimate challenge as any could be. And yet, before we proceed, I would hear it from your own lips. The Great Worm's power is the stuff of legends. Have you truly resolved to fight this battle, to risk your own life to deliver a foreign land from the clutches of its ancient foe? When you are certain that your mind is settled, return and speak to me. So you would join your strength to Estinians, that Ishgard might be free from the rage of the Great Worm furthermore. And then I shall honor my promise. You shall have full use of your power by the time we are done. Before we begin, there is something I must needs to confess. You will recall the tale of my battle with Nidhogg 20 years past, and how the power of the dragon left me on account of the injuries I sustained. What I said was an untruth. The power did not abandon me quietly. It was I who abandoned it. Being derived from our mortal enemies, the power of the Azure Dragoon is a double-edged sword. Even as it lends us the strength we need to smite dragons, it heightens our communication with the creatures, rendering our minds more susceptible to their seduction than ordinary men. Even as I buried my lance in Nidhogg's flesh, our gazes locked, and mine eyes met with a look that would fair impale a man. In that instant I found myself assailed by a torment of emotions not mine own. Sorrow, rancor, pity. They threatened to drown the man in me and leave behind a dragon. Fearing that I might turn traitor, I chose to purge myself of the power that I had bestowed upon me. Thus, regaining lucidity, I was able to rout the grievous wounded Nidhogg. Alas, countless of his brethren yet remain, as if to mock me. They fell upon Ferndale with a vengeance, but fret my power. It was all I could do to save but one child. Nary a soul knows this, nay, not even Estinian, but I can keep him in the dark no longer. In our last meeting, Estinian said that protecting Ishgard and exacting revenge upon Nidhogg are as one to him. That frame of mind, I fear, may well lead to his demise. The desire to protect and the desire to avenge are opposing forces that can ill be recoiled. Worse, the latter serves only to cloud his sense of self. When next Estinian and I meet, I intend to confess all, though it mean the loss of his good opinion. The outcome of the coming battle and his very life may well depend upon his readiness to relinquish his powers. Never allow yourself to forget the origins of your strength. Never ever does the dragon lurk behind your eyes, bidding this time ready to claim you for its own. Aught less than complete conviction, you will find yourself in its vice-like clutches. So forewarned, let us return to our present endeavor. My promise to Estinian was that I would impart upon you the techniques that will mark you as a true Azure Dragon. If you would know the truth, however, this knowledge is not within my power to bestow. No, you must claim the technique much as you claim the fourth piece of the armor you bear, by proving yourself in battle with a dragon whose power you would unite with your own. I entrust you with this flute once more. Take it to the southwest of the province point and blow a single note. By locking wills with your adversary and prevailing, you will prove yourself worthy to champion the cause to which your lance is sworn. The dragon within you shall then awaken. is good to see you safely return. I take it you take from your bearing that the engagement went favorably. You left this place as a woman quietly, but you return as a dragon. There is no more for me to teach you. From here, your battle is yours and yours alone. Now, you must recall me saying that the fifth and final piece of Dragoon armor was not mine to give. However, that is not wholly true. I could guide you in the direction of that which you seek. That said, I yet have reservations. The sheer power of the dragon housed within is such that a great many of the Azure Fairbearers, myself among them, have proved hopelessly incapable of wielding it. But I do not doubt that within you has awakened a strength that forever eluded the likes of me. If you are not worthy of wearing the armor, then I know none who are. Remember my warning to you quietly, and heed it well. Nidhogg is a lord among his kind, aught less than complete conviction, and you will surely fail under his thrall. Before you can master your foe, you must needs master yourself. Hone your lance armor till it can bear no more honing, and then present yourself to me when the time has come. I will tell you what you need to know. I look forward to our next meeting, my young dragoon. I am the dragon. Quietly, an urgent message arrived from Estinian in your absence. He bids you come at once to the Steel Vigil. It would seem Nidhogg is on the move, or rather sooner than we had anticipated. It appears you have not yet fully become master of the dragon within you, and yet we are racing against time. I fear we have no choice but to do battle in the best of your current abilities, and without the dragon mail I promised. Now, let us away. Estinian must know the truth of Ferndale, lest he fall for the Great Worm's seduction. Oh, Albrecht, I have waited long for this day. You, who fancy yourself an Azure Dragoon, the man whose cause you have taken for your own, is a coward. You relinquished the power of the dragon of his own volition and watched as Ferndale burned. Do you not think it ironic that I was chosen Azure Dragoon, I, an orphan who has not a value to protect in Ishgard? I suppose I must give thanks, for it was the eye that revealed to me the truth, a truth so damning as to undo a lifetime of trust. I loved you as a father, but I can ill forgive you for Ferndale. As I understand it, you've kept even the Archbishop in the dark regarding the missing eye. Do you mean to take your shame to your grave? But I waste my breath. Prepare yourself, old man, for I shall lay waste all the things you hold dear. And once I'm finished with you, I shall do what no Azure Dragoon has succeeded in doing. I shall claim Nidhogg's head. Calm yourself, Estinian. The rage renders you vulnerable to the dragon's influence. Quietly. In you, I thought I had found kindred, someone beside whom I could fight the Great Worm. It is with a heavy heart that I relinquish that dream. Your affection for this coward has rendered you deaf to your own destiny. Very well. That we would one day cross lances was inevitable from the moment of our first meeting, as we shall now find out who is the Eye's true chosen. There can only be one. Doesn't really have to be like this, Estinian. We can be friends. We can be friends. Why can't we be friends? 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 Feeble creatures, dost thou desire power? Look to thine anger and to thy hatred. It is there that thou shalt find it. O mighty Nidhogg, Lord of Dragons. Grant upon me thy blood, that I might be granted the claws and fangs wherewith to render thine enemies. Oh. Jeez. Cat. Quietly. This is impossible. It cannot be. Was that me? I feel like I should have killed the Dragon's Eye instead of killing Estinian. If I killed the Dragon's Eye, would it have given me a second or a different ending? Forgive me, Estinian. I have failed you once again. I'm fine, quietly. Somewhat shaken, but otherwise whole of body. Suffice it to say, I have much to reflect upon. Let us return to the observatorium. Soul of the dragon shines with unbound radiance. When the being of darkness closed upon us, you appeared to me the spitting image of Heldrath, the dragon's eye, just as he is depicted in the holy scriptures. I thought that mayhaps the years had taken their toll on my eyes, but behold, the soul of the dragoon shines as it never did in all the years I bore it. It would seem that you have achieved that which was thought impossible. You have awakened to the ability that none but the first Azure Dragoon possessed. Truly a momentous achievement. I can still scarce believe that you were able to summon the self-same Draken mail worn by Heldrath. To think that it had been sealed within the soul crystal all this time. I have bore witness to many and more wonders over the years, but yet none compares to you, my young dragoon. Could it be that you are... Mark not my mutterings. I am certain that it was your indomitable sense of justice that resonated with the spirit of the first Azure Dragoon, prompting him to bestow the armor upon you. Yes, that is doubtless what happened. As the being of darkness faded, so too did Nidhogg's aura subside, and now his kind has ceased their stirring. Within this was compelled by your awakening, I cannot say. I suspect we will learn the truth of it eventually. Estidian, my dear boy, whatever becomes of him, he will ever be as a son to me. I pray that he is somewhere out there still, and that he has not wholly forgotten the great man he once was. When the darkness brushed against me, the self-same trodent of emotion swept over me as those I experienced 20 summers past. But there was something else besides. There was a voice, and it lamented the rift that divides dragons and men. You will come to comprehend what I speak of in due time. Till then, quietly, I pray that you will ever use your newfound strength in the name of justice. While I run to Limsa Lominsa and put this other pair of stuff into my armoire, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out for the rather long playthrough of the Dragoon 30 through 50 story. I will be continuing this story later on, pretty soon, once I've started diving into Heaven's Horde. In the meantime, I'm going to be playing through all of the classes and jobs from in a Realm Reborn. I've been kind of working my way through that, and then I'm going to be posting summaries of all the stories on my other YouTube eventually, so keep an eye out for that. Right now it's just Guild Wars 2 stuff, so it's not up just yet. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I really appreciate it. There we go. There's our Draken armor. Blue. But yeah. Like, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment down below what other class stories you think I'm gonna enjoy, or what do you think I'm gonna enjoy going forward from now on. And join the Discord. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!